When I got sober, I realized something really important. You can't just take the joy away. You can't take the dopamine. You can't take away that hit you love with alcohol. You've got to replace it with something else. You have to put something back or you're going to be absolutely miserable. That's where the concept of the joy menu comes in. I have to be honest, I did not come up with this concept. I got it from one of my podcast guests, but I thought it was flipping amazing. So I wanted to share it with you guys as well. So the joy menu is essentially a menu of things that bring you joy. So when you're having those hard days, you want to drink, you want whatever it is, trying to stay sober from, you can go to the joy menu and you can get that quick hit of dopamine. But the joy menu has to be very specific to you. A joy menu is just a list of 10 to 15 different things that bring you joy. It's super simple. I'm rolling back. It was like I was slowly moving. It matters because our brains do crave that dopamine. And anytime I can give my brain a job, when I have one of those deep cravings hit, the thoughts like, oh, it would be so much easier if I just drank. Yeah, I do get those a lot. Those thoughts, we'll call them intrusive thoughts, they pop in from time to time. So it's in those moments that you want to give your brain a job and a little tiny hit of dopamine, something that excites you and something that's super fun. I would say at the top of my dopamine menu for the last year plus has 100% been lattes. Might sound funny, but I love going and getting an iced latte. That's an easy dopamine hit for me because it's something I really enjoy. Bonus points if I can get a friend there or if my husband's home and it's a Sunday morning and we can go try a fun new coffee shop. You know, we don't get to try a lot of new coffee shops really because I live in a smaller community, but occasionally a new one pops up. Or if I can try something new or just even go get one of my favorites, which just happens to be a Dutch Bros special. Well, it's not really special, but I get the cold brew with sweet cream. I love it. Medium. It hits the spot every single time. Another one of my favorite things that is on my dopamine menu is 100% running. And if you don't love running, you're like, what the F? I get it. Go ahead and skip through. I don't know, maybe you like to go to spin class. Maybe you like to go to yoga. Maybe you like to go rollerblading. Maybe you go surfing. I don't know what you people do, but I do love a nice short run. You know, nothing over 3 miles. 3 miles, I feel like I really push myself. And I like to hit at least 3.2 so I can say I ran a 5K that day. But I enjoy that. It's fun for me to get out, get in nature. I take my corgi. It's like a whole experience. Everyone loves the corgi. They're like amazed that she can run, but she's actually fast as hell. And then of course there's a big dopamine hit that really came out of left field this last week and completely surprised me. I went to church for the first time as an adult. I went to church with my mom and my daughter and it was a beautiful experience. The three of us had never been to this church. You know, my daughter, she's 20 years old and we've never gone to church. We're not like a church going family. So this really came as a big surprise to me. I can't tell you how it all lined up and how it all happened, but I mentioned to my mom, hey, there's this church that my friend keeps inviting me to. I want to go try it. It's a little small. It's kind of grassroots. And I was just telling her about it. And she's like, yes, I want to go. So Sunday, the three of us went to church and it was a beautiful experience. I just keep telling people, I'm like, it was really lovely. Like it was absolutely lovely. And it gave me a lot of dopamine in just like that comfort and love. And I think it's definitely something I'm going to add into my weekly routine when I can go is going to church on Sunday. It felt really weird as an adult to be like, I'm going to church. And I think that's because I live in Utah, so we know what the dominant religion is here. I'm very familiar with that religion. And so all of my God experiences in my mind have really been centered towards that specific religion. And that one is just not for me. So I kind of had put like all of my spiritual beliefs and everything off the table over there because I was putting them in that category with that church. And sobriety has really given me space. This church is really fun, you guys. It's very flexible. Sobriety has given me a lot of space to be like, wait, hold on. What is a higher power to me? Like what kind of relationship do I want, you know, with the afterlife and something beyond? Getting sober has opened my eyes to so many things. And I know I wouldn't be where I was today if I didn't have that higher power. And it doesn't really matter. I'm not telling you guys you have to devote your life to Jesus or like go to some specific church, but it brought me a lot of peace and a lot of joy and a lot of comfort. So that's something that's going to go on my dopamine list that completely surprised me. I have been reading the Bible for the last like 6-ish months. I want to say since the beginning of the year, so longer, because we're in October now. I've just been kind of dabbling. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And just kind of figuring out what feels good to me. And I think that's what's really amazing about sobriety is suddenly you have space. Suddenly you have time. I just didn't realize how much time I was devoting to the obsession of alcohol. So now I've got time to explore things like going to the bookstore and buying a Bible, which is a hilarious experience in its own. I talked my husband into driving me over to Barnes & Noble one night and he's like, what are we doing here? Are you getting like some notebooks? Like what book were you looking for? And I was like, oh, I'm here to buy a Bible. He was like, say what? And then he actually did a little explaining to me about like there's different types of Bibles and like you have to figure out what feels good to you, what version you want. And it ended up with like this really beautiful women's reader Bible. And I've loved it. Kind of just adding in this church thing has just been like the next step and the next layer for me. And I do feel a little awkward talking about it. It's not something I normally talk about. I'm kind of loving it. So that's going on my dopamine list for sure. So I really encourage you guys, like make a joy menu. You know, I think even if you're not sober, that's something so awesome. I really struggled with depression and lots of anxiety, severe depression where I couldn't get out of bed for days. There's been a lot of times in my life where I wasn't even sure like why I was still here. Like, why are we still doing this? I'm like, does everybody do this? And I know back then a joy menu would have really helped for those days when you're having a hard time and you can just pull something out of your back pocket. Set yourself up for success. Write down the joy menu. And then every time you're having one of those moments where I want to go drink, you can be like, wait, hey, I'm going to pick something from my menu here. Maybe it's like walking your dog. Maybe it's calling a friend. I love to call my grandma. My grandma could definitely go on my joy menu. I called her last week. She just turned 89, so I was calling her up for her birthday. And she always has the funniest things to tell me. So last year on her 88th birthday, she invited all the family to go to like a big dinner because she had decided that was her last year, like 88. So she had this funny little saying she would tell me, and it was like 88, and then I'm out the gate. So I was excited to call her for her 89th birthday to remind her that she didn't make it out the gate. So she had a new rhyme for me, and it was 89 is a mighty fine time to leave this planet behind. And I just thought it was hysterical. I know anytime I talk to her, it brings me joy because, you know, she also tells me what a great honor it is to have known me. I mean, what else do you need than your elderly grandma telling you how amazing it is that you were on this planet and that like she's enjoyed every moment of knowing you. Stack that joy menu up. Maybe it's a Diet Coke. I do have my Diet Coke right here. It's holding my phone with my notes. You know, we're privileged to live in Utah. If I really wanted a hit of some really good caffeine, I would take myself down to Swig and I would get myself a dirty Diet Coke. Maybe you love going outside and picking flowers. Maybe you like going for a drive. I love fall because we live in a very hot climate. It gets so hot here, you guys. We're kind of adjacent to Phoenix. So think like that kind of weather, but we're in the very bottom corner of Utah. But it's fall. And so I like to pop the top off my Jeep. And it's a lot of fun to drive around in a Jeep, especially even at night. These are all things that can go on your joy menu. You're like, hey, listen, that's great. But, you know, I've got 2 toddlers and a full-time job. Just find something. Maybe it's like a song you love. Have like a music lineup, a playlist. Always set yourself up for success. I've always been a big fan of that saying and doing certain tasks. Like I do my laundry every day because then I don't have a ton of laundry to do on Sunday. I have like a 10-minute laundry fold every night. I love that kind of stuff because it sets me up to have a good week and I don't have to stress about laundry. So I've always been big on this mentality of like, how can I set myself up so that the day goes good, the week goes good, the month goes good. And this is just another step in that. How can I set myself up and know that I can stay sober? Or how can I set myself up and know that I can have things that bring me joy? I have tons of fun drinks in my fridge. So we don't have a Trader Joe's where I live. And last week I drove up to Salt Lake City for the day, which is about a 4.5-hour drive. And on the way home, I'm like, I'm going to stop at my favorite Trader Joe's ever. Guess what? I am a white girl and I am a basic bitch. So I loaded up on that pumpkin spice waffles, pumpkin spice cookies, cake, bread. I have it all. There was even some surprising pumpkin spice things in there. My family's been laughing at me. I even got some pumpkin spice soap from Trader Joe's. I did cut myself off at the pumpkin spice body scrub though. So I was proud of myself there, but I'm regretting it now. I loaded up on that kind of stuff because it just brings me joy. When you don't have a substance, you know, you don't have an addiction ruling your life, you get to have all of this free time to do really amazing things. You know, go to lunch with friends. We just went, it's a brand new restaurant that just opened here. We went over and got some really, really bomb food. You could have a million excuses in your head right now of why you can't have a joy menu or you don't have time for it, but you do. You absolutely do. Set yourself up, take on this concept of a joy menu, whatever that is for you. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.